Okay, so this will be the opening intro video I'll post. I didn't get a chance to go through last night and kind of explain in detail about what I do or how my UI is set up or why I do the things I do. It's kind of rushed in the videos, but this will give me a chance to break it down a little bit slower. Okay, so first thing I want to do is explain why my UI is set up the way it is. I set mine up like this because I played pre-CU, and so during CU and everything, this is how it was set up, at least from my end. Have it like this. What I did was when I play my medic, I have my group all right here. It'll be in this area, as compared to like if I run it right here or more on the sides normally when I'm in a DPS role. And the reason I do that is because when I hit Alt, my cursor goes back here. Instead of having to come out of it way over here, I only have to go right here. And it just helps me out. Most people have these group members set to hotkey. I used to have it to my function key, but I'm no longer running on a desktop. So what I have to do now is just do this, because if I was to press my function keys, I would like turn up the brightness up and down like this on accident, or the volume on and off, and it just it's a nightmare if I do that. And one of my things is my internet button, so it's not good. So that's why I click on these with my cursor instead of actually using a hotkey to target each group member. Besides that, I have my toolbar set up like this. You should have the exact same one spec'd out if you are a healing medic. I don't put anything in DPS. I just straight have the buffs, which you need. Buffs and stasis, and then this is the tree I go with. And the reason I do that is because medics, at least for my purpose, I'm there to heal the group and to give the buffs for the whole group. That is the purpose of a medic, I believe. You can do other variations of it, but this is the ultimate utility for the group. Besides that, what you'll want to go through is your inventory before you get started in an instance group. You want to make sure you have the right food on hand. This Trimpion is the #1 go-to for medics. Gives you a little bit of constitution boost, but that's not really what you're looking for. You're looking for the healing potency. I believe it goes up to 13, I believe, so this isn't even cap stuff, but the duration is about 16 minutes, so you have to be refreshing it throughout the instances. But besides that, this will help you tremendously. I don't know if you're going to be running a medic suit or not. I do. So I have a healing potency and action cost reduction, which helps out. The way I set up my entertainer buff, I will probably get to it in the XRCoon video when Dai is talking about his. I'll try to overlay it. I'm currently editing that video because my audio didn't get recorded for some reason, unfortunately. But back onto this, I run with 2 different sets, 5-piece sets. I have my striker set, which I use for buffing, and my first responders is what I use when I'm actually in the instances. I do this because you get a lot of swift heals and free shots. The free shots are when it doesn't cost any action to use the healing ability, which is really nice because healing costs a lot of action. The swift chance is really, really great in instances because, especially when you use bomb, the cooldown is pretty long. I think it's about 20 seconds or so, maybe a little bit longer. And sometimes this resets instantly when you use it, which is very nice. Okay, so what I'd recommend to you next before you get into the group with everybody is set yourself up with a buff macro. I have mine. It's right here, the icon for the macro, and what it does, it triggers to the next page, and it goes through each one at a time. So that's going to be really convenient for you instead of having to flip pages and stuff like that. It's just for ease. Like what I'll do when I buff is I'll unequip my first responder set, re-equip my striker set at the beginning of the instance or whenever they need it. Press my icon and there it goes, all for me. I'll actually put up the macro here that I use. I just name mine meds. It just goes through, it switches the toolbar pane, then it goes through each slot. And I use a 2.5 second interval between the buffs. You could do it a little bit quicker, but I found with server lag, this is more dependable. It won't skip buffs like what happens in Isley sometimes when you go to a buff bot. That's it for that one. Just cycles through it and it rotates back at the end with the next toolbar pane back there for me. This is what I have running on my toolbar. I have my little attacks right here, which is hardly anything for medics that are healing spec. Spray I'll be using consistently, bomb and ampule, and back to infusion. Whenever I'm focusing healing on a tank, I'll always shoot the back infusion out whenever I can. I don't know if it stacks or it doesn't stack, but I always like to keep it on them just to make sure they have it. It helps. My primary healing is back to ampule, this ability right here. It doesn't do half as much as these two do, but it comes back in about 2 seconds, which is incredibly fast. That's your primary healing thing right here, is back to ampule. Now I'll rotate these out as needed if there's a big damage that needs to be healed off of a character. I usually save my back to spray for when the group comes about yay in health, like all around. If there's multiple people that have this much, instead of spamming back to ampule to each individual person constantly, what I'll do is I'll just use the spray instead when they're about there. Their health pool depends on where they're at, but that's pretty much a good standard. Nice for the video. Besides that, let's see, I think I covered everything. Just make sure when you're back in the instance, you re-equip your 5-piece. First responders now. There you go. And you're all set and ready to go. Thanks for watching.